What's poppin', y'all? In one of the most bizarre beefs that never had to happen and shouldn't have happened, and I don't even know why it's happening, is Akademiks and Breakfast Club host Lauren LaRosa. Now, a little bit of background. Lauren LaRosa is one of the other hosts alongside Just Hilarious, DJ Envy, and Charlemagne. And there was a little bit of back and forth. These women were added later on, and this is after Angela Yee's departure. There was a little bit of tension in the group when it came to Just Hilarious and Lauren LaRosa, and now she's doing her thing. They're both doing their thing. So this back and forth starts with this Akademiks clip where he gives a little bit of context. I will admit that, yes, he was added, and that's how this all started, but I feel like it's snowballed out of control so quickly, and I don't even know why.
Lord, forgive me, and chat, protect me, because y'all know I'm drunk already, and I really don't want to go crazy. Yo, Lauren LaRosa, I'm going to try to speak, because here's the thing. When y'all speak about me, y'all say the utmost craziest shit about me, but y'all expect me to speak about y'all in a very docile, very respectful way. I don't like people lying on me. Lauren LaRosa, I've given you your credit because you went in there and you whatever shit you got going on in the Breakfast Club, I see you trying to, whatever tactics, I don't even give a fuck because I don't like that other girl that you competing with. But please don't lie on me, please. And I'm gonna give you the grace today. Tomorrow, listen, my nigga, I'm the biggest. I don't give a fuck who you sit next to. I don't care if it's Charlemagne, nobody else. I'm the biggest. So I'm going to give you the grace to correct what you even tried to say about me today.
He does admit he's drunk, but the way that you hear this, it doesn't even add up. Like, how do you get so angry about this? In the beginning, he says, oh, you guys talk all the way crazy about me and I'm supposed to hold my tongue. What did she talk crazy about? She just said, oh, yeah, you lied. And it seemed playful enough. And the association is that the narrative that Kendrick Lamar does not have fans, cannot sell out shows, all of this other stuff, it's attached to Akademiks. Now, I'm not saying that he is necessarily the person that purports that. Now, if you look at his Akademiks TV page, which he co-signs consistently, they for sure purport that. Akademiks doesn't. He tries to stay in the realm of plausible deniability, kind of like a politician / president that doesn't want to get their hands messy and has somebody else doing the dirty work, which I think that page would do that regardless. So she says that he lied about Kendrick, maybe like the show wasn't too loud, because he's previously asked a question: is people there for SZA, or are Kendrick Lamar fans that are there for Kendrick Lamar, are they feeling left out when SZA's not going on? Are people there, he purported that people may just be there for Not Like Us, which I went against. I wouldn't say I necessarily debunked, because it's really impossible to debunk something like that. Regardless, he escalates this to a whole nother level, giving her like a stern warning. And then this is another thing that I find quite bizarre, is how are you going to say that you're the biggest, but then you don't want anybody to mention you, especially like peers? For instance, it's as if Akademiks would say, oh, or a rapper would say, I don't want him talking about me, when the rapper's the biggest in the game. What comes with that is being talked about. This gets worse, though, in this next clip.
I see you say you was at MetLife. By the way, I was supposed to be there tonight. The people and everybody I was going with, we spent tens of thousands of dollars. I didn't go. Most of them went. I forgot how many tickets that was just only for me and my people. People went there. The suite was still, it's probably not full, but like whatever. You just not gonna lie on me, shorty. And I'm telling you, I'm bombing on you tomorrow. I'm gonna bomb on you in a way that Charlemagne is gonna probably not want. Or Charlemagne's my. So you gonna have to look at him and be like, how you still talking to this when he bombing on me like this? So I'm going to just give you 24 hours because I don't like people lying on me. So, MetLife says 2 sold-out nights with Kendrick Lamar and SZA on the Grand National Tour begin now. You says, I'm here in Akademiks lied. Yo, surety. I lied about what? Kendrick's like that. SZA is fucking performing her ass off. The show is fire. Shorty, I was supposed to be at the show tonight. You got calm tickets because you a Let me just keep it chill. My tickets don't come from Dave Free tonight. We pay tens of thousands of dollars. But I'm gonna indulge you in all the bullshit you want to indulge in because I'm telling you I'm bombing tomorrow. And listen, yo, what's that other bitch that's on the Breakfast Club? What's her name? The Just Hilarious. Don't worry, because I was bombing on you for her. I'll bomb on this. Please stop bringing my name up in some shit that I ain't never said. You said Akademiks lied about what? What did Akademiks lie about? I need to know what Akademiks lied about. Because if you can't identify what Akademiks lied about, when I call you out of your name, and I'm gonna call you out of your name tomorrow, I promise you, I'm calling you, your mama, your daughter, anybody. I don't give a fuck. Please don't mention my name in no type of bullshit. You could make headlines any other ways. Please don't ever mention my name like that. Bro, you not on my caliber, nigga. You a little peon that's on Charlamagne's show. You, that bitch Just Hilarious, y'all niggas need to really have some respect. That's a fact. So I'm gonna still keep it calm right here because I'm gonna keep putting this ask out. What did Akademiks lie about? I've never said that Kendrick Lamar's show was not lit. I've never been there. I was gonna go there tonight. I thought my tickets was for tomorrow. I missed tonight. Never said it wasn't lit. I never said that Kendrick Lamar would not sell shit out. I've told everybody they're in a great contract with Live Nation. Live Nation is gonna make all these things sold out. I said it about the Beyonce tour too. So I need to know what you're saying I'm lying about because I don't like people like you who really ain't really built nothing. You came from TMZ. You're on the Breakfast Club. You ain't built nothing like I had to build it from brick by brick, people by people. People cancel me or they try to cancel me all the time. And I'm telling you, I'm going to bomb the fuck on you. And I'm telling you, this is a personal thing. I don't fuck with you industry nigga.
There are a couple of things in this clip that I think need addressing. The number one thing is, how do you spend tens of thousands of dollars on a show, on suite tickets, on box tickets with people that you're going with, and then you think that it's the next day, and then other people are already there? The most bizarre part that I find about that, because maybe like the people that you're supposed to be there with, they hit you up and it's already too late. Maybe you woke up and the show is already started and you're like, ah, damn, screw it. I don't want to go there, because he is trying to do this consistent streaming schedule. So perhaps he's like, damn, if I go to the show now, I didn't stream earlier in the day and I wanted to wake up earlier in the day to stream so I don't miss a day and then I can go to the show, and maybe like streaming is more important than going to the show. But where this falls flat is the security argument, because he's going there with security. Otherwise, he wouldn't be antagonizing people, saying like, yo, I can pull up to anywhere in Jersey and I dare somebody to do something about that, which I just don't know why people invite this type of energy to themselves. But he's rolling with security. If you have security with you, isn't security going to phone you like, hey, are we going to show up? Is security going to pick you up? Is security just going to meet you there? Like, they're going to absolutely call you. Like, they're your clientele, or you're their clientele. However, whatever way that works, you hired them. So they're going to follow up and be like, yo, what's going on? Are we picking you up? And then this will remind you. And it's probably going to happen the night before too. So it's going to remind you that the show is on that day. And then there's a little bit of switching the topic. And I dislike, this is a tactic that many people use, where it's like, yo, you got free tickets and you're trying to flex that and you HOE for that. I spent money on my tickets. I think this is just the realm of perspective. Like, what's the argument here? That you make more money than her? Yeah, of course he makes more money than her, but her argument was never about anything money related. And then escalating it to like disrespecting family. It's just, I don't understand. I'm incapable of understanding how a tweet like this can get somebody so angry, especially somebody that's number one in the game and self-proclaims himself to be number one as well. If we're being honest and we're being completely fair, the guy is number one in the game. When it comes to, now some people will have their own taste of who their favorite is, but when you mention the name, everybody knows the name, everybody's somewhat polarized by the name, everybody within hip-hop, I'm saying. So that does make you number one. Like, for instance, who was the Shock Jock radio guy? Like, when Charlamagne was number one, people hated him a lot and people would deny that he was number one. But now looking back in retrospect, he was number one at that point in time. Even the people that didn't like him would say that. So there's that. And then he's saying he doesn't really like people being lied on him like that. This is where the question needs to come out, because Drake lied to his face in that instance where there was this light-skinned dude that used to be rolling around with Gervonta Davis. And it was one of the most bizarre video clips I've ever seen. But he said that he had some issues with the boy, and then he leaked this DM exchange with Drake, and this was popping on Twitter. And then Akademiks went back and said, oh, nah, this is cap from the boy. So he was saying that's from Drake. It come to find out that was true. That guy showed a ton of receipts. He had linked up with Drake a bunch of times. They had met up. He had sent him some gear. That guy was a dire fanboy of OVO. Cannot cap about that. That's for certain. And then Akademiks throws up his hands and says, well, I didn't lie to y'all. Like, Drake told me that. Well, if you don't like lying, then how do you not confront Drake about that? How are you cool with Drake about that? Why isn't the same energy being directed towards Drake about that? Because Drake lied directly to your face and allowed you to embarrass yourself and your credibility, which Akademiks does have credibility. Like, this is the one thing that I don't like when people are critics of him. They're like, man, that dude's unreliable. Nah, the guy's provided a lot of information ahead of time that we have come to find out later was true. It's very, 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 I can't even remember the last time he put something out that was wrong outright from him as a source. Now, when Drake told him that, that's an instance where it was wrong. And Drake damaged your credibility, which is like something that's one of the most valuable things to his brand, if we're being fair. But Drake doesn't get that energy. But Lauren LaRosa is just saying like, yo, he lied about this. It's like, it's in passing. Lauren LaRosa is not a mainstay. Like, she's popular on the radio show, but she's not starting conversation just from a tweet. I will say that. Now, maybe her appearance on The Breakfast Club and her making some comments on you, that I can understand being a little bit upset about and having to address, but just her throwing out a tweet, I think it's completely forgettable. And then we get into the Live Nation aspect. Like, yo, I told you they had a sweet deal with Live Nation, the same that Beyonce has, so they're going to make sure that it sells out. And this is where I feel like it's somewhat diminishing a person's success, because we all claim and we all agree that the most difficult thing and the most impressive thing is to get seats, like people get people to buy seats, show up to a show, buy stuff from the concessions, whatever it is, take a day out of their free nights because people are working jobs. And then let's say the tour is either one of the nights that they have not school. People going to school usually don't have enough money for something like this, but adults that may have work tomorrow, or it's their weekend and they're taking a day out of their weekend to go see you at a show. To say like, oh yeah, they've got to deal with Live Nation, of course, they're going to push and try to do their best to make sure things are sold out, and they're incentivized to do so, but it comes off, especially in the position that Akademiks was in during the entire beef, which was somewhat of Drake's mouthpiece, and for sure leaning towards Drake and denying that Drake lost the beef for many months later. I think it's only now he started accepting and proclaiming that, yeah, Kendrick won. Before that, it was, people believe that Kendrick won, or people think Drake lost, or people feel Drake lost. With that being said, when you say that, it's kind of like, if we threw anyone else, would they be able to sell out a stadium with them? That's the question. So yeah, sure, Beyonce and Kendrick and SZA get a sweet deal with Live Nation, so Live Nation is going to try to make sure that they're sold out, but these guys are also superstars, and that's also the incentive for Live Nation to make a deal with them like that, unless there's something that I'm missing that I don't know about, which I'm always willing to be educated on things like that. We're here to learn. Like, for example, I don't think, like I said, they're not giving Lil Baby a deal like that. They're not giving Gunna. You're not selling out a stadium of Gunna tour. You're not selling out a stadium of Lil Baby tour. You're not selling out a stadium of Lil Durk tour. You could put all three of them together and you're still not selling out a stadium. So it's impressive nevertheless. And then to escalate it this far, I was like, damn, man, what's going on here? But Lauren LaRosa, instead of folding, because he kind of just, I guess he told her to fold, and he tweets at her and he says, BITCH, what I lie about. F you using my name in a tweet for cause you got some free tickets. And this is where I don't know why money gets brought into conversations that have nothing to do with money whatsoever. She did not say anything about money, and her getting free tickets, like, what's so bad about that? Should she have paid out of pocket for free? And this is the thing, somebody that uses arguments like, I'm not saying Akademiks would do something like this, but people that tend to use this argument, they're gonna down you no matter what. Because if she paid for the tickets herself, someone would say, man, you're not even lit enough to get tickets comped. You got to pay money out of pocket for your own tickets. Oh, I am. Damn, that's crazy. And you're glazing them, and they wouldn't even give you anything for it. So there's that. And then there's also, you got comp tickets, so now you're gonna talk on their behalf and support them. So you really can't win if someone's just trying to down you and look at you in a negative light like this. But Lauren LaRosa actually responds and drops a fat list of what she believed were were instances of Akademiks lying, and I think she didn't use the right word. I think she just meant like, yo, he was capping, or he was trying to say that he was trying to represent something like it wasn't. And we're gonna read through her thread, and then we're gonna go through it. And listen, man, we have no attachment to anybody over here. So she says 12:57 a.m. Saturday. What did Ak lie about? A thread. And then she says, despite what Akademiks said in a previous review about Kendrick Lamar fans not spending money, I was told exclusively from sources familiar with these numbers, merch sales for Kendrick x SZA in just NJ, New Jersey alone are record-breaking, with SZA selling more for these 2 sold-out weekends in New Jersey. She's from New Jersey. But my sources made it clear that the way both Kendrick and SZA fans have purchased just merch alone these last 2 nights were record-breaking. And then she plays this clip from an Akademiks stream who knows how long ago.
Again, I don't want to dismiss this dude. I just think his fans is broke. His fans is a bunch of niggas that don't have a lineup. They got no haircut, nappy-headed, or just straight-up white boys who are degenerates, who used to say the N-word. No lineup, no job, no deodorant. One of these niggas with hot breath think that when they're just gonna rap a bunch of these niggas still thinking about control. Like, of course these niggas can't. These niggas, they're not taking care of their kids. Why the f you think they're gonna be able to pay $400 to go to a concert? Oh, no. So as I said, if Kendrick Lamar was giving away these tickets for if y'all niggas on food stamps, if y'all niggas are unemployed, if you get a 20% discount, if you ain't get a haircut since 2012, this shit will be packed. It will be sold out in a minute. But these are bums. I gotta be honest.
Well, when you look at the receipts here, you're like, man, this really didn't age well, because Kendrick would be struggling. And I saw Kendrick fans wearing Kendrick merch, and I just so happened to be in New York at the time that this show was going on. I didn't attend the show. I probably should have, especially it's a seated venue, so it would have been a good experience. I didn't show up, though. Listen, if Drake was doing a stadium show, I probably would have showed up. There wasn't that much of a draw or a pull. But you saw every background you could imagine, and these guys had Kendrick merch on. And I was on the train. I was like, damn, this person's a Kendrick fan? I couldn't imagine hearing them listen to Kendrick Lamar. And they were the opposite. Like, they just seemed like a regular guy working a regular job, a bunch of white dudes. And it's not like, like a white dude that's maybe really into hip-hop. Some perhaps were hip-hop heads. You can't really tell fully by a person's appearance, even though a person's appearance can tell you something if they're maybe into hip-hop, but it can't tell you if they're not. That's, I think, the distinction to make there. So if Kendrick fans were broke, the only thing you could really say is that SZA carried at this point, if you're gonna refer back to this. But it seems like, from what this lady is saying, that even Kendrick Lamar sales were going crazy. And then she continues and saying, now granted, that's a given when an artist is in their hometown, in reference to SZA. But we know right now nobody's running to spend money, which I think was his point. So to have fans pulling up, selling out your shows, and dropping coin should be talked about. And I know he mentioned the tickets would eventually sell out once prices dropped, but fans weren't giving broke this past weekend. This is a good example too. Like, if fans were so broke, then even if the tickets dropped, or let's say the tickets prices dropped and they bought up the tickets, which is, in all fairness, maybe what Akademiks was talking about when he said they've got to deal with Live Nation. So Live Nation is dropping tickets, notifying people yo, there's 3 days left. The tickets are 60% off now. People, if they bought those tickets and they were stingy about their money, they wouldn't buy any merchandise, but they're still buying merchandise, which means that they were there to spend money anyway. Although, if someone's already spent money on tickets, they're in the mind frame of, this is more like sales, marketing, psychology. They're like, yo, I already spent money on tickets. I spent some money on drinks. F it. Why not buy a piece of merch? This is like a historic moment. So I don't necessarily think they may have gone in with the intention to spend as much money as they did on merch, but the circumstances and the environment fostered that behavior. And 3, the Kendrick Lamar x SZA GNX show was giving karaoke, despite what Akademiks mentioned in a review. This is actually what made me mention him in the tweet. He's become Kendrick's tour Yelp recently. I remembered seeing his video about fans not singing along and low energy that the convo people were trying to have about Kendrick following SB, Super Bowl she's talking about, performance at the NFL. Had me looking forward to seeing what the crowd energy was like. It was on fire, and not just for Not Like Us. And she posts a couple of clips where people are singing along to the song. Copyright's gonna F us up for that. So listen, hey man, you're gonna have to go find that on your own. But yeah, people are jamming out to it, and it's not just Not Like Us. It's a lot of other songs at the same time. I think I did a video on this exact like rant, and this was full flat out hate. I mean, you couldn't picture it any other way. It's like, yo, let's say fans are broke, they're not gonna show up. Okay, stadium. We'll see if they pack it up. Okay, they packed up the stadium. Oh man, but are they singing loud enough? Like at a Drake show, it's karaoke. Like, come on now. And this is the thing too, which is a little bit in contrast with Playboi Carti, because Playboi Carti looks like a great performer when everyone is huge fans of his and they're moshing, they're going crazy, and they're singing all the lyrics for him. But when you put him in front of a new audience and he's opening up for The Weeknd and it's a stadium tour and you're looking around like, oh, this doesn't look that great when everyone's not there just for you and going crazy on your behalf. Like, are you really a great performer if the crowd is doing everything? No, performing is putting on a performance. So that's just why I think you can't really judge a performer or like fans by them, like, you know, yelling out in karaoke. And also, like, the acoustics of an indoor arena are different than a stadium. And Akademiks has spoken on that previously when it comes to Drake's reasoning for not wanting to do a stadium yet. Although I think it would be, like, it's just something he's got to do at least once. And I do think he can sell it out if he's able to do multiple days. Anyway, this woman continues and says, 4, Akademiks reviews are literally that, reviews. And he's been fair-ish lately, but parts of what he said versus what it was giving IRL didn't add up. I mean, he said Kendrick destroyed hip-hop, but also said Kendrick was a great performer who didn't need a headline. Moral of the story, I had an expectation based off of the reviews. It changed. Everything is subject to change, as you'll see below. I'm out. Heart. Catch me on the pod, the latest with Lauren LaRosa. And then she posts a clip, which we're going to play right now.
That's why I said Kendrick ruined hip-hop, because ever since he came with that little battle energy, that's cool. Drake and Pusha T got into it. It said Pusha T won. You know what happened? Moved on, and we just kept getting hits. This have been like we've been frozen in May 2024 for a year. Nobody wants to drop music because you're watching the guys at the top just only focus on this beef that's a year old. I really think he ruined hip hop because of that. That's why I said YB, he's dropping new music. Cardi, who dropped one of the albums of the year, they're making music.
Cardi dropped the album,
but
yeah.
But here's the point I'm trying to say. When it comes to this nigga, Kendrick, how did he done Drake? Like, you're acting like you said it was a knockout. I said, listen, the most I give you, if we gonna use a boxing comparison, yo, these niggas are squabbling. I had Drake up on the scorecard. Facts. I had him up on the scorecard. He's giving that, he's outboxing on some Floyd shit. But I ain't gonna cap with you. The reality, I'll say, when Not Like Us dropped, that was like a rib shot. Like Drake, he took a standing 8. Word 2.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So
that's not no knockout.
So then what's the argument though? That's my question. What's the argument he got knocked out? He got knocked out. Even in Hard Part 6, he's almost admitting that he got knocked out. He's bowing out of the fight. He's throwing the white flag.
Yo, he had to take it to the streets. He's shooting up his crib. What are you talking about?
In this video clip, it's a little bit like, yo, what are you trying to say here? Drake for sure got hit with the knockout. And this is like one of the defenses that I was saying that Akademiks puts up a lot for Drake to deflect. I don't think he believes that Drake lost the beef. And perhaps he's privy to certain information that we don't have, and that's swaying his opinion on it. And that's to be very, very fair. But I don't think this beef ruined hip hop. And this is the thing. The difference between Pusha T and Drake is Pusha T is not a hit maker. So Pusha T dropped an amazing album, by the way, an amazing album that should have won a Grammy over Cardi B. Don't even get me started on that Grammys. That was worse than the Macklemore Grammys. People overhate Macklemore when they should be directing that hate towards Cardi B, even if they love that album. So Pusha T drops a great album, and then Pusha T doesn't drop any hits after that, and Drake is dropping hit after hit. The difference here is that Kendrick Lamar, he took down the big dog, but then he's dropping hits on top of it, and he's capitalizing on the opportunity, and he is at the caliber of Drake, or within the realm of the weight class, let's say. He's within the weight class of Drake commercially too, which Pusha T was not. So he's able to sustain and keep pushing a lot of the momentum that came from winning that beef. So he's got Luther now. It's not like he's just holding on to Not Like Us. He's got Luther going crazy. He's got Squabble Up. He's got a couple of joints that's still in the top 20 or 25, which is an outstanding feat. And he's got a stadium tour now. He's got deals on top of deals. So Kendrick, I don't think that's harming hip-hop at all. I think Kendrick took the crown, and he assisted a lot of rappers too. So he put on a lot of people on his GNX album, and what those people do with that opportunity is all in their hands. He can't be blamed for the success or failure of anybody, because then we can just look at Drake, who signed people to OVO, and say that guy just takes advantage of them. So the guy that's having the argument with them even says it as well. And then there's the clip of him saying that Kendrick Lamar didn't need a co-headliner.
Because I think, honestly, Kendrick didn't need no co-headliner. If it's what we talking about and it's really like that, because I think it is like that. I do think it's like that. I don't think he need a co-headliner. I think he could have went out here and did by his damn self.
Honest to God, I think Kendrick did need a co-headliner. If he was going to go on a stadium tour, yeah, you need a co-headliner for that one. I don't think there are, like, Travis Scott is able to do it, but yeah, Travis Scott is a different breed than Kendrick Lamar, and Travis Scott's brand is performances, and he doesn't take breaks like Kendrick Lamar. So Akademiks did give him a lot of credit there. And then he addresses Lauren LaRosa previously. She shows a clip from him previously addressing her.
I just realized that this girl is the one who used to be on the Breakfast Club. Hey, iHeart. Yo, hey, listen, first of all, y'all shouldn't give a f about my opinion, but I just want to say, what's Shorty's name? What's that big mouth girl who be up there? Jess Hilarious. She cool, but she like female Charlemagne Light. Y'all need this girl up there at Breakfast Club, this Lauren LaRosa chick. Yo, she was fire up there. I ain't gonna lie. She's the only time, like, even with respect to Angela Yee, she's the only person I've ever seen, like, do y'all news report, and I actually see, like, oh, she's coming with facts, not just reading off blogs. She's doing some work. She's pretty good. And I know what's the name is come back from being pregnant, but I hope y'all find a space for this woman, because she is really good. I like her, and I don't know if she's ever spoken on me. I don't know if she likes me, but I do like the fact that she looked like she's doing a little bit of reading outside of what she sees on blogs. Like, and I'm like, I fuck with that. So this girl's good. Anyway.
So this was him showing her love. And then to be fair, he recently said, like, nah, he was showing her love because he doesn't mess with Jess Hilarious. And then he pretends not to know Jess Hilarious's name, which he frequently does. It's a funny thing, actually. So she handled this masterfully. She didn't come back with any quips. She just delivered facts and references, and it was 24 hours later and Akademiks didn't address her, and I think that was for the best for both of them. She handled this was such a great moment for her. She was so professional despite somebody really, like, disrespecting her and threatening her and just doing the most. So I think this was a great moment for her, and it demonstrated how someone should handle that situation. Because when you handle a situation like this, how do you look going in on her and roasting her? For what? Like, she gave her honest opinion, and she even gave him credit at points and said, like, yeah, he said Kendrick Lamar could do this without a co-headliner, so I didn't understand why, he was saying this. So she was doing an outstanding job, and a little bit of a correction on my part from earlier. I think she was just a replacement for a period of time for Jess Hilarious while she was going through, like, some pregnancy things. I didn't really keep up with the details of that. I haven't really followed the Breakfast Club closely for quite a while, so I don't think she's a mainstay on the Breakfast Club, at least not for now. So that's just a bit of a correction on my end. I hope that this was the dissolution of the beef. It did not need to go that far. I think she had a point. Like, if you ask anybody that's following hip hop, you be like, yo, what do you think Akademiks' perception of Kendrick's tour is, or Kendrick in general? They're going to say a negative one, and they're going to say a hating one. Even people that are quite fair. Even though he has at some points given credit to Kendrick Lamar, but how much of that is just cloaking his hate for him? we know that they're not too fond of each other. At one point, he was cool with his team, but it's obvious, like, Drake is more of a hit maker and is closer to Akademiks' heart. No cousin, no Ye, no Diddy, no homo. You guys get what I mean. But let me know what you guys think about this. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Go to helloyassine.com. Thank you for watching. Peace.